I believe social justice curriculum must be a requirement at all public schools. With so many injustices happening in our country today, and since, well, anyone can remember, there are less and less people aware of them. Racism doesn't exist anymore, and women can vote and go to college wherever they want now, so clearly anyone who calls himself a feminist is crazy, are just a couple of the statements that tend to come up when it comes to social justice issues. Sure, we don't have segregated schools and water fountains anymore, but we can't say there isn't any racism anymore. If you have watched or read the news at all this past year, you would have seen many instances of racism, one of the more popular ones being the case of Michael Brown, an unarmed 18-year-old who was shot several times and killed by a white police officer. According to ProPublica, the 1,217 deadly police shootings from 2010 to 2012 captured in the federal data show that blacks aged 15 to 19 were killed at a rate of 31.17 per million, while just 1.47 per million white males in that age range died at the hands of police. With stats like that, it is difficult to not see the Michael Brown incident as an act of racism. But it's not just police officers that should be accused of this. In fact, many of us tend to fall into it. Maybe not outwardly with signs and protests, but so often inwardly. There's a concept called white privilege that our country almost seems to be built on, but no one really likes to talk about it. In a nutshell, it is the idea that white people are given more opportunities than people of color or minorities because of reasons that no one can really control, such as stereotypes given to people of color that make them seem as if they are unfit for the same job or school or neighborhood than a white person. So why is feminism such a big thing nowadays? According to the Institute for Women's Policy Research, in 2014, the ratio of women's to men's median weekly full-time earnings was 82.5%. In other words, women are making just under 83 cents to every man's dollar. Even now, there is unequal pay for women in America. Feminism, though many hold this belief, is not women trying to gain more rights than men, or women getting more opportunities than men to be successful. Feminism is simply wanting equal rights for men and women. This lack of fair treatment toward women is also apparent in our TV shows, movies, and daily lives, from how women are portrayed in the media to being catcalled every time we go out into public. Lacking awareness of these issues or choosing to ignore it is detrimental to our society, which is why I believe social justice curriculum must be required in public schools. Currently, there is not much representation of people of color in a school's curriculum. As John Greenberg stated in a post on everydayfeminism.com, white Americans don't get their own special section because the entire textbook is their special section. I believe we need to take bigger steps to change this. I believe that we cannot allow the next generations to be clueless about the terrible injustices happening in their own backyards. I believe we must fight for the equal rights of every single human, and this begins in our schools.